cool. Have a look in the party settings. Right, it's live now, so just check on your thingy and I'll bring you in a second. Okay, good evening guys and girls, welcome back to FTRL. We are here for week number 2 of our GT1 season, of the 16th season of FTRL and GT Sport. We are live to you tonight from Brands Hatch, one of the most iconic British circuits, just based in the southeast of England. One that a lot of these drivers are very familiar with, which I will come on to a bit later. But joining me in the commentary box, I think this is our first time ever duetting, I think, is our favourite Belgian friend, FTRL Rom. Good evening, Rom. I'm good, mate. How are you? Yeah, it's quite nice to put your feet up, isn't it? And let these guys do their thing. So, but right, we're just about to get into qualifying. So we've got 12 out of the 14 drivers. Mikey's saying that he can't hear you, Rom. So if you go into the party settings, it should say like to allow your voice. Have you found it? Right, hang on. Apologies to the stream. Right, if you go into the party settings, you got it. Can we all hear Rom now? Rom, say hello.
Apologies for that, mate.
It's alright, no problem.
Should be fine now.
Ruining the entire stream, it's fine.
It hasn't begun yet.
Yeah, only just started and Rom's already fucked it. No, so good evening to you all, and I hope you are all doing very, very well indeed. This is going to be a very, very, very exciting hour and a bit. 3 races around a 46-second lap, with some of the best drivers that GT Sport has to offer, and the best FTRL has to offer. And yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. We saw last night that this track is plenty of margin for error, and not a lot of corners or lap time to make up for it. So leading after week 1, we saw some really, really good racing last week. Probably a bit better than even we thought that we might see. A little bit of dominance from Pagani and SPY, and Lennon obviously picked up the win in race 3. But the Pagani and SPY seem to be the ones to beat so far. T Smith is about to come around and complete the first lap time to 46.2. I would expect pole to be somewhere around 45.7, 45.8, something like that. And the varying cars will certainly make all the difference. So, Rom, talk to us about Brands Hatch, so the Indy circuit. Obviously, we all did an FTRL meetup a few months ago, and we watched the British touring cars live at this circuit. What sort of issues are the drivers going to have tonight? What should they be looking out for?
Well, first of all, it's going to be turn 1, of course. Going down off the hill, you have to make sure you don't go too wide and be catched in the gravel. Yeah. And afterwards, it's really down to after the back straight. You have to make sure you take your corner soon enough so you can't go wide there. And as you see Pagani going into the McLaren corner, you need to get your braking point right, and that's about it. Yeah,
like I said a minute ago, there's not a lot of margin for error, so to speak. You know, you can lose plenty of time around here, but you can't really gain all that much. Like I said, we've seen Lennon off at turn 1, a really, really tricky corner. I went off there last night. Pagani's just had a scare, so I imagine we're going to see quite a lot of people having a few moments. And with how close these guys are on speed anyway in general, over a 46-second lap, I imagine it's going to be ridiculously close tonight. So obviously the Subarus do look like the one of the better cars around here, which Pagani is in, and we've got Cartman in second place in the Renault Megane, which seems to be one of the go-to cars for daily races at Brands Hatch. So a few of the drivers had the opportunity to change their cars. I believe the only people that did that was Lioness. He's come out of the Honda and gone into the Renault Megane, and he's in the grass. I think Kuska has gone from the Toyota to the Hyundai. Bread has come out of the Honda and gone into the Mitsubishi Evo, also on the grass. And I think that is it from GT1. We are missing FTRL blue flag tonight, so the lobby is significantly less riskier now for everybody.
Easier to pass, at least.
And Jono, unfortunately, has been held up. He's had COVID and he's now been caught in Dubai. Poor him. And he should be with us next week. So all the best to you, Jono. I hope you recover well, and my friend, and you're all safe and sound when you get home. So 2.5 minutes left of qualifying. Cartman's just gone purple in sector 1 by 1/10 of a second. But he had a bit of a slide into Graham Hill Bend turn 3. Heading down towards Surtees, and then you come into the McLaren corner.
Too early.
Yeah, and then into Clark Curve. I think he might have lost his time a little bit here on this lap. Could be wrong, but
that's the thing. Like, you don't have much margin for error, but it's just you have to pay attention to so much details on this particular track, because you have to have every braking point and every the amount you brake. You have to get it precisely correct.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, for those that have been to Brands Hatch before, you don't realise how steep turn 1 really is.
It's ridiculous.
It is incredible. So we'll try and find who's coming up towards turn 1. Well, Bread's currently sideways at turn 1. So Thomas on board with T. Smith, coming down in towards turn 1. I mean, it does look steep on here, but it's not even close to how it really is in real life. Heading up towards Druids, again, this is quite a steep climb. You want to stay as close to that inside curve as possible. That BMW will kick you out. Ride that curve on the outside, end of sector 1. Then you've got the tricky left of Graham Hill Bend. You can ride that green area on the outside in towards Surtees, where you just want to lift ever so slightly. And then you want to get your braking point right at McLaren corner. And then you want a nice wide entry so you can be nice and tight onto the curb, coming out of Clark Curve and then onto the Brabham straight to finish the lap. And that is an entire lap of Brands Hatch Indy. So there isn't a lot for the guys to navigate, but there is a lot of opportunity for them to lose what they might have gained. So Pagani's your man, currently on pole position, however not as comfortably as he would probably like, Ron.
No, well, but it's like you said, it's gonna be very close tonight. We saw it last time that we were here as well. Qualifying is, if you have a couple of hundreds that you gain on a lap, you can easily gain like 1 or 2 positions. It's a matter of that close. You see, like SBY is on a purple first sector now. He's 600 up. So if he keeps it up, he might as well have B1 now.
Yeah, well, Pagani and SBY is he's only 3,000 up, so he needs to really nail this last corner, which I don't think didn't look as quick through there. I could be wrong, but this is everyone's final lap now, so SBY is going to be the first to cross. Is he going to improve? He is, but not enough a pole. 0.06 of a second, Pagani has the lead. Is Pagani going to improve? No, he's not. T. Smith, his qualifying is over. I think this is now pretty much everybody. Who's that last person? That is Bread. Down in P12, less than half a second off Bread is.
You see,
and he's last.
It's a matter of hundreds.
It's incredible. So Bread's put in a time which probably would have got him second or third in GT2 last night, and he started last for race 1 of GT1, and it was a fantastic lap from him. So, but who's your money on, Rom? Please let us know in the chat as well. Please remember to all like the stream as well. That does go a massive way for us. I will read the comments very soon. But Pagani and SBY are leading you off the line.
Yeah, I think if SBY plays this smart, he can take the victory and race win. But we'll see. It's going to be close anyway, so
Yeah,
a lot can happen.
absolutely. Well, please get your predictions in the chat. SPY for the win. SPY's had a really poor start. Pagani's got away well. Cartman's had a great start. He's up to P2. So Pagani leads the way. Got off the line really, really well. So
A bit sideways, managed to save it.
Somebody that's Lee trying to squeeze up the inside of Ross into Druids. Got the move done. Ross will have the inside for Graham Hill Bend, and Ross will get back ahead. So pretty clean so far. Pagani's your race leader, and then SPY immediately under pressure from T Smith. That's one person you don't want behind you.
Nessie on the inside of Fever and passes him, but Fever is about to cut him back.
Yeah, they're going to go side by side down the Brabham straight to start lap number 2, but it's Pagani who leads the way from Cartman in P2, SPY in P3, T Smith in P4. There's a small gap back to Ross in P5. A couple of guys really risky through Paddock Hill Bend. Lico in 6th, Unsafe Release 7th, Fever and Lion Essie exchanging positions between 8th and 9th. Lennon down in 10th, Cusker 11th and Bread rounding off the grid, but only a few seconds between all the cars so far, and I imagine this is probably going to be a theme for most of the evening, Ron.
Yeah. That BMW of T Smith is really tail happy, seems like. I'm still not sure why he chose that car, like,
I think
compared to all the other options.
Yeah, so Pagani goes fastest 45.8. I think that would that have got him pole position? So he's certainly a statement of intent from Pagani. He's just inside slipstream range of Cartman, but I mean, if he keeps this up, Pagani in clean air is a very, very dangerous Pagani, as we all know. It's his to lose from here, I would say, obviously barring any mistakes.
Yeah, if you let him lose and you let him find his rhythm, Pagani is very dangerous. He can be away in a matter of a lap.
Well,
he's so consistent and
yeah, he really is. The biggest gap on track at the moment is between 7th and 8th, which is the teammates of Unsafe Release and Feber in 7th and 8th. So hopefully the guys can all bunch back up. I mean, there's a little bit of space. Lennon and Lion Essie exchanging pleasantries as well, but nice to see that nobody's fallen off, not been any mistakes made just yet. Pagani's up to 1.2. T Smith very, very wide out of Druids, but he's pulled a gap to Ross now, so we might see a few little groups, and as long as the action stays with us, Rom, I'll be quite happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon SBY is going to be wanting to get past Cartman as soon as possible.
Yeah. Can everybody in the stream just let me know that the volume is okay, so you can hear me fine, you can hear Rom fine, and there's a nice mix. I just want to make sure that everything's all okay. So Lee's putting Ross under some real pressure at the start of lap number 5. It should be about 26 laps per race. Remember that whoever finishes 7th in this race will start on pole position for race number 2. So Lee sends it down the inside of Ross.
Oh, and Safe's looking to take advantage of that as well, but can't quite manage it.
Very nicely done from Lee. So Lee realised it was a bit of a forceful move on Ross there, and he did concede position back, but Ross went a little bit wide out of Graham Hill Bend, and they're now going to run side by side. Really nicely done between these two. Thank you for letting us know, guys. Who is in the chat? Let's have a look then. So Mikey's there, shock. Good evening, Mike. Peteman's there. Good evening, Pete. John O's in the chat. Mr. Coandy's in the chat, saying he's only here for Rom's sexual voice. Beth is in the chat, who I believe is Nobby's other half. Nobby's driving and asked me to say, evening boys, tuning in on the M5 down to Cornwall. As Aaron says, watch out for turn 1, especially on the first lap. That is correct, Nobby. Nobby being my teammate who decided that he'd qualify really well and then drive off the track at turn 1. So, well done, Nobby, for that. Junkie Sports in there. Good evening, sir. But yeah, please remember to like the stream. Keep the comments coming in. We will get through them and read them, and plenty of interaction. Lionessie's had a massive wiggle. Is he off? He is indeed. First mistake we've seen. And Lionessie has dropped down the order. And that's going to be very, very hard to recover from there.
Yeah. Once you get out of the slipstream, it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
especially if you're alone. But yeah, with the guys having a little fight for P5, the other 3 or 4 drivers at the back managed to get back in line and have now a very beautiful FTRL train.
We also have quite a feisty battle for P2. Cartman and SBY are already going at it, and T Smith just looking for a way past. He did nearly have a run on SBY going into Druids, but SBY covered him off nicely. So T Smith will be there ready to put people under pressure. And I think, Rom, you might agree with me on this, but with T Smith being one of, if not the best FTRL GT racer that we've ever had, having him in your mirrors all over you, you know that if you make one mistake, you've lost that position. Like, there is just no way about it. Like, T Smith is an intimidating person to have behind you, isn't he?
It's all right when you're driving, but it's like you say, if you make one mistake, then all of a sudden your confidence is dropping, and you know, like he's there, he's gonna take advantage of your mistake, and that's the thing that makes T Smith so good. I reckon he's just so patient in his races, and he just waits on the right moment to get past, and once he's past, you're never getting past again.
Exactly, and this is one of the good things about him. You know, we've raced with him for a long time. We've all raced him, and not only is he extremely fast, he's extremely clean. Like I've never really seen Tom make many mistakes over the course of a season, let alone in a race. So his driving will be fair enough. He will be patient. He won't force a move. I said he will wait for the opportunity. So the gaps have spread out slightly between the top few. Pagani 3.3 seconds clear. So, like you quite rightly said, Ron, he's very, very dangerous when he's able to do that. But look at his lap times: 45.8, 45.9, 45.9, 45.9. And then the last couple he's dropped off by a tenth or two. But he's in a position where he can do that. He doesn't need to take any risks at this point. He's got a nice gap. Feber has closed up. He was a second and a bit behind unsafe release, and he's now in P5.
Yeah, well, the scrambling that went with these 4 guys, like Feber unsafe, Ross and Lee, it did mess a bit with the order. Now the 2 German teammates took the biggest advantage of that and just, are slightly out of slipstream. So if they work together, they maybe can take a bit bigger advantage towards Ross.
Yeah, as they would say in the Germany, is very fast, yeah. They're driving very fast.
Hey, ganz toll.
Ja, ist amazing. Ich bin into turn 1. Unsafe release into turn 2, behind the Feber.
Not to be kidding me, but that sounds exactly like unsafe.
Yeah, I'm incredibly lucky of how good I am at accents.
Yeah, but that sounds good.
Yeah, I could do Ross as well, but yeah, but every single German says "ja" all the time, so I could do Ross, but then you'd all turn off your stream, so I don't want to do that. These Germans have beautiful cars. They do have beautiful cars. Yeah, very
Ross
famous.
Managed to close up again to the Germans, talking about him.
British touring car liveries. That's an iconic one. The old Draper Tools Hyundai. No change in the battle for P2. Everyone's taking their time, and the gaps have formed pretty well now as Lennon's run wide at turn 1, lost 2 positions with a click of a finger. Kuska goes through, Bread goes through, and Lennon is there. Linus, he has, to his credit, caught back up. He's only 2 seconds behind now. He was a lot further behind, so the clean air is so important at this track. If you're in clean air, you can get into the rhythm, can't you? Pagani's lost nearly half a second though.
Yeah, I think Cartman had a bit of a gap for like a lap and a half over SBY, and I think he managed to find a bit of rhythm.
Well, I mean, Pagani's average lap time now has dropped off by 2 or 3 tenths to where it was for the first few laps. However, knowing him as well as I do, he is probably doing the sensible thing and taking a couple of tenths off of his lap time just to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
No.
Which is fine. When you've got a 3 second gap, there's no reason to make mistakes.
No, exactly. No, I have to give credit to Cartman. Like last week, you said in the stream that he's quite used to be in the front of races.
Yeah.
Last week he seemed to be struggling, or like not really struggling, but getting to know the drivers around him a bit more. But now he's keeping up very well.
Yeah, I mean, to be in the company of Pagani, SPY and T Smith, he's in a very, very, very good position there. So from what I understand, you know, Cartman is a really good driver, really fast, and what people that are watching that maybe don't take part in FTRL won't understand is that everybody's in different cars. There's only 4 cars on the... There's only a maximum of 4 of the same car allowed on the grid, so there's only 4 Subarus on the grid, etc. Cartman is in a Renault, which is a bit more slidey, not as fast, isn't 4-wheel drive, so some tracks it will suit, you know, some cars, some tracks it will suit other cars, and the Renault is, like I said to you, is certainly one of the good ones around Brands Hatch. So, but then next week, I can't imagine the Renault will be so great at Sardegna.
Yeah.
So you might see him in, you know, in the mid pack at that point, which is why we saw him where we did last week at Maggiore. So it's a really interesting season. Car choice does come into it. The Subaru does look like the best overall car, but next week with Sardegna having quite a few, I mean, a really long straight and a few other straights on the circuit, we might see the Subaru struggle a little bit more next week. So the likes of T Smith and the guys in the Hyundai, like the German boys, that we might see them have really good weeks next week. So Ross putting who is that? That's unsafe release.
Going for a move on the outside. He keeps it. He knows in.
Now he's going to stay to the outside for Druids. SPY will cover him off. Will he try and cut back?
Nah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
SPY has better brakes than T Smith does, so.
Yeah, Ross is all over the back of unsafe release. Unsafe release, our commentator for GT2. I think one of the best opportunities for overtakes in a 4-wheel drive car compared to the Hyundai is going into the final corner, because if you can put the guy, if Ross can put unsafe release under a bit of pressure going into the final corner, because you really have to get your braking point spot on, that Subaru will slow a lot better. So if he can make him go a bit deep into the final corner and get a bit of a cutback and then stay down the inside going into turn 1, that should be move done. But these guys have all raced each other for so long and they're all so good that trying to make those mistakes is very, very difficult. It's all well and good saying that. Like going into this corner now, Ross needs to make unsafe, miss his braking point and go down the inside of him here, and yeah, it's going to be difficult to make somebody make that kind of mistake. But other than that, you're going to see these trains, aren't you?
T Smith is giving a hard time to SPY. Which managed for Cartman to escape those two.
Yeah, T Smith will start to apply the pressure now. Pagani's back up to 3.6 seconds.
Oh, Ross on the inside of unsafe.
Bit of a slide out. Unsafe's going to have the better line into Graham Hill Bend. Can he hold it around the outside? Can he cut back? He's trying to cut back. This could be a lovely move from Ross. Is he going to hold it? Yes, he is.
Careful,
fantastic move. Good driving from Unsafe as well.
Yeah.
Unsafe forcing the move. Pushes Ross wide.
Might want to give that back.
Yeah. It was on the line, wasn't it? It didn't look too aggressive, but...
No, exactly.
Ross trying to send it back down the inside of Unsafe in towards Druids. I reckon Ross might get this move done because he can brake later than Unsafe release. Good driving, very, very good driving. It'll be frustrating for the both of them, but yeah, it's going to be difficult. And Lee's now ready to make the most, and Phoebe's got away. So, like you say, one or two laps of battling around here, and difficult, isn't it? Oh, there's contact.
That's unfortunate for Unsafe.
Yeah, I think Ross might be. Is he waiting?
Yeah, he's slowing down a bit. Yeah, he's waiting. Fair move from us. But Custer is taking advantage of this.
Yeah, there
Falls
we go.
up to
Ross has
P8
pulled
and
over.
now P7.
So that's one thing I'll say about Ross, is he will always, if he's made a mistake, he will always give that position back. Unfortunate that it happened that way, but like we say, those cars, you can clip each other's rear tyre and it is difficult, especially with how close the pace is. But now there's a massive train of cars.
And especially it's either Druids or McLaren that you have to make a move. There's not really another spot where you can make an overtake, except for if the driver in front of you makes a mistake.
Absolutely. Well, there is about 5 or 6 laps left, and at the moment Custer is going to be starting on pole position for race number 2. So do not forget that, ladies and gents. But it's all a bit of a queue. Nobody's really trailed off the back. Bread's a 1.6 off of Ross, but everybody will start fighting very soon. Yeah. So Pagani 4.5 seconds clear now, and Cartman has lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, he's back in slipstream range. Well, SBY is back in slipstream range. That's it. Lioness is looking to crawl back up on the grid.
Yeah, well, Faber is actually closing in on these guys at the front, but I don't quite think he's going to have enough time to do it unless T. Smith gives SPY a hard time for the last few laps, but he's definitely closed the gap as Faber. Custer's got a 1 second lead. Unsafe release is fighting with Lennon. Lioness, he has done very, very well to make up that time. Ross down in P11 now, so it's gone from bad to worse for Ross. But fair play to him for waiting for unsafe. It's, yeah, one of those things.
Yeah, looking at the cars in front of them, I think he'll get some of them at the start eventually. Next race. So.
Well, Ross has been pretty quick in practice, so the lap time's definitely in there for him. So, but this man is absolutely dominating at the moment. He said he wanted to close out GT Sport in the best possible way. He's not won a championship now for a little while as Pagani. But could it be his season? 5 seconds is the gap with 3 laps to go. Yeah, Cartman under pressure now. Only a few tenths is the gap. We're going to start seeing moves made.
Yeah, the gap with Faber is about the same, so I don't think it's going to catch up these 3 guys.
Yeah. Oh, Lioness up the inside of unsafe release. Unsafe's now wide. Ross is going to have a run in towards Graham Hill Bend. Carbon copy of how they were racing earlier. And Bread is now basically within slipstream range, so this gap is certainly going to start to come down. Lioness is very, very slidey. Oh, Ross is off.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know if there was any contact. It didn't look like it from my screen. I could be wrong.
Well, he went quite fast against the wall, so
maybe he slid off the curb or something. You never know.
I reckon it's more. Will be more about that. Cartman is about to be out of the swing, so I don't know if he's found a second Brett or T. Smith is trying to make a move on SBY, but seems like Cartman is gonna be fine for the last lap if he keeps this pace up.
Exactly right. Well, 2 laps to go, I think, for some of them.
Well, I think Paul is gonna have 1 lap, and all the rest is done after this lap.
We shall see. But Cartman's driven very, very well. SPY also, as is T. Smith. FIBA has done very well to recover from where he was. I think FIBA will be quite happy with that. Lee in a P6. So Lee's got some good pace in that Subaru. He had a bit of a moment last week, and then his dirty tyres and a mixture of that and his head is what cost him a really good position.
Yeah.
So Pagani is your race winner. Sorry I missed it, Pagani. I thought he was going to be able to go around for one more lap. But Cartman second, SPY third, T Smith fourth, FIBA in P5, Lee will take P6, Cusker P7, so he's your pole sitter for race 2. Lennon in P8, Lionesi P9, unsafe 10th, unlucky for him. Bread in P11 and Ross finishes in P12. Unfortunate, there was bound to be a couple of incidents tonight. Unfortunately, it fell between unsafe and Ross and Lionesi, but other than that, very, very clean, Rom.
Yeah, good first race. A bit like we expected. To see a couple of trains. Once you break out of the slipstream, you're basically gone. So yeah, it looks good for the second race.
It does, it does. Unfortunately, I'm the one that has to host the lobby, so I need to get everybody to jump in their cars ASAP. Right, so what I'll need you to do for me in a second, Rom, when everybody's in their cars, is just bring up the race results, and then I can do the grid for race number 2.
All right.
Now, the first race of the week is normally the most boring because it's when, you know, qualifying will set the tone of the race, and it will, you know, there's not going to be. I mean, still be overtakes, but you won't see what would typically be the quicker guys coming back through the field and whatnot. They'll tend to pull away from the start. So just need T Smith to get in his car.
Always the same bloody people you have to.
It is, unfortunately, and that's the problem with Birmingham. You know, just Birmingham in general, not Bromley people. But
he might be quick in a car, but the sense in his head, there is.
Well, let's be honest with you. We've met Tom. Tom is not quick in the head. So for those that are aware of T Smith and whatnot, you know, I made a bit of a comparison the other day, and I said that Tom is the human form of Boris Johnson's voice, and it just kind of makes sense. You know, just a bit dopey, a bit stupid, you know. But he's in his car now, so I can stop taking the piss. Right, Rom. So it's going to be Cusker on pole, if memory serves me correct.
Yes.
Lee, P2.
FIBA.
Ours the FIBA.
T Smith.
Yeah.
SBY.
Yeah.
Cartman. Paul.
Pagani, yeah.
Then you have Lennon, Lionesi, Unsafe,
Bread and Ross. So Cusker on pole, Lee Cole P2, FIBA P3, T Smith in P4, SPY in 5th, Cartman 6th, Pagani 7th, Lennon in 8th, Lionesi 9th, Unsafe Release 10th, Bread 11th, and Ross in P12.
That is correct, yeah.
Thank you, yeah. Let's give them a 2-minute warning. And I'll check in on the chat in just a second. Right. Okay, so Jonesy's in the chat.
So far.
It has been quiet so far. Last night, the chat was incredible. So you guys need to pull your fingers out. Jonesy's in the chat. And I've just seen a message from FIBA coming up now. Saying Aaron rocking a German accent, please don't ever do that in a race again, nearly shit myself. You shouldn't be listening to the stream whilst you're racing, FIBA. So I am very, very good at it though, let's be honest. Jonesy's in the chat. He's Jonesy's making his debut in GT this season, and from his pace before we started the season, he was still trying to get used to it all, and the way he's improved and his racecraft in particular has massively impressed me and everyone else. So well done to you, Jonesy. I feel like, I mean, I know I messaged you privately, but a bit of public recognition, mate, because you've made a lot of good impressions. So keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, thank you, mate. You've been fantastic. What was you going to say, Rom? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna confirm that you're good on the accents. No, about Jonesy, I've watched him racing as well. I think we could have a second TMC Jono case. Like, I remember well that Jono got up to really fast pace in a matter of weeks.
Yeah,
With,
Jono is Jono's a very, very, very fast boy. Is Jono? I love Jono as a person. I love racing him and I love watching him race. So yeah, but Jonesy just needs to not bottle the podium. To be honest with you, the fact that you're looking at podiums after just a couple of weeks of racing is a really good sign. Like I've said before, you do not understand the pace of the drivers in FTRL and GT Sport because it's not as popular as F1. People just assume that, you know, it's a bit of a bang average pace, but those that have been racing for a long time on GT Sport, like Lionessy, etc., you know, when they come in here, they said you guys are absolute aliens. So it's there's a hell of a lot of speed in this division.
Yeah,
It's incredible. So
it was nice to see it growing. Like, I remember the first season where Paul and Sai practically dominated the season. But yeah, then you saw the pace of other drivers growing as well, and it just became better and better and faster and faster.
Yeah, exactly. Call me Lightning McQueen. You need to be very, very careful what you wish for with me, my friend, because I will call you Lightning McQueen, or I will make variations of said name. I am not a stranger to taking the piss out of people. After all, I did create FTRL, so I'm allowed to absolutely rip into people when I want to. So, but right, we better get race two underway. I nearly choked on nothing then, Rob.
What the fuck? Tell Charlotte to leave you alone, man.
Yeah, Charlotte needs to get her penis out of my mouth. Oh, God. Right, let's get this underway. Let us know your votes for who is going to finish where, who your podium predictions are. I don't know who I think is going to win this race. I think Lee's in for a very good shout of winning this race, providing that Lee doesn't do Lee things.
Well, if he keeps it up like last week and doesn't bottle it at the end of the race, yeah, he might have a good chance. He will have the better start in comparison to Kuska. So yeah, this might be his race.
Well, here we go. It's going to be Kuska leading the way off the line, Lee Cole second, Feber third, T Smith fourth, and then the rest of the boys have already gone through the order. But it's lights out, away we go. Feber's had a better start than Lee. Kuska's got away well. Can Lee hold off Feber into turn one? Feber is there on the inside, and he looks like he's going to have P2 from Lee. Yes, he does. Can T Smith also capitalise? Yes, he does. So good start from Kuska. It's got a 1 second gap already. The rest of the field pretty good. Lennon's decided to go grass cutting in the background. Has he saved it? No, he's not.
Went 3 wide, so
he kept the throttle down, Lennon. He should have just lifted off. He's lost himself a lot of time there, but long time to go. Kuska's flashing his lights, which tells me he's a pad player, because I used to do that. But yeah, Fever in P2.
yeah, if Lennon keeps his pace around normal, might be able to catch up maybe.
Yeah, he will do. Right, T Smith is in a good position. If he can clear Feber, I would back T Smith to have a good result here.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will know that in his own head as well. So we shall see. He's looking very, very racy. Feber needs to be very switched on. Where is Pagani? Pagani's still in 7th. He's changed his livery for the second race. The classic Subaru Impreza.
So not greatest start for Lee. Drop 2 places, not too
Yeah.
bad, but I think he might want it to be second place, maybe first.
Yeah, Lennon just took a trip to the gravel at turn 1. Lennon needs to, he's sending it a bit too much now. He's just getting his rhythm. But Jonesy in the chat saying he's never seen a livery he dislikes in GT, and Junkie Sport saying he will bite his tongue. Now Junkie Sport's problem is that Junkie Sport makes such good liveries that he hates everybody else's.
Yeah.
So
and he's quite a dick about it as well. he knows he's good in liveries. I asked him once to make a livery for me. I think it was for the GTR. He did it in 1 day, which was it looked amazing.
It's incredible, isn't
it? He put it on Instagram like, yeah, another customer served in less than a day.
Yeah. Junkie Sport saying no, just my two. Yeah, Richard Burns' 2001 championship winning car is what Pagani's running, but yeah, a lot of people would just know that as the classic Subaru Impreza livery. But as I said, there are some lovely liveries on this grid. Really, really nice.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, what Junkie Sport makes is incredible. So what's happening now? Cartman is looking to get a pass on SPY. So
yeah. Lee is causing a little bit of difficulty to those behind him, so the top 3 are running away just a tad. Not by too much. But T. Smith is just chomping away, trying to wait for that opening, because Fieber is closing down Kuska, who's driving really, really well so far. So, but it's a bit of a train at the moment, Rom.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
I find this sort of thing very pleasing to look at when you're watching a camera angle and all the cars go past it like in a big line. It looks really good.
Exactly. Especially, I had to do pictures.
T. Smith's got a good run. Sorry, Rom.
No worries.
In towards 30s, can he take Fieber around the outside at McLaren into Clark Co's? Can try and cut back down the inside, but Fieber covers that very, very well.
Very well placed from Fieber there.
T. Smith to the outside of Fieber into Paddock Hill Bend. He's going to try and force Fieber wide, cut back up the inside, but Fieber covers it well. Now T. Smith's under pressure from Lee, and Cartman is round. Thankfully, he's not lost too much time like Lennon did, but he's just dropped him all the way down to 11th now, so we've seen the mistake. Unfortunately, Cartman is the next victim.
Yeah, the thing is, to go outside out of T1, it's a very, very hard move to make.
Yeah.
Especially because you're on the outside of 4 dudes as well.
Yeah, T. Smith. I mean, we were talking last week, T. Smith and myself, you know, and obviously people questioned his decision to pick the BMW. But I think, like he quite rightly said, he's won plenty of championships now, and this is one of the cars he really did enjoy driving. And because it's the final season of GT Sport, I think it's a really good thing that he's given himself this challenge, because otherwise it would probably be the same result. Now T. Smith, in my opinion, is probably the best in Group 3 cars out of everybody. Group 4 cars, he's still probably the best, or one of the best, but the gap is a lot closer. So the fact that he's given himself a challenge for the final season, I'm pleased about. He's just done the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think it's probably more about the challenge for himself.
Yeah.
I've driven the M4 as well. It's a great car to drive, but it isn't the fastest overall.
Yeah.
I think for Group 4 you might want to have like a 4-wheel drive. That's pretty good. It's nimble and it gets good off the line.
Yeah. Well, he's had another good run on Faber, but Faber's just driving so well at the moment. He's just not making any mistakes, and he's still bringing that gap down to Kuska in P1 as well. So it's going to heat up this race. It's a matter of time before it does. We have a top 7. Pagani is inside that pack as well, so don't forget about him. He's directly behind SPY. And then we've got a little gap with Ross, who's got up to P8, so he's had a really good start to this race as Ross. Obviously started last, he's now just gone off. Well done, Aaron.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah. And then so Unsafe has gone through. Ross is on dirty tyres and bred in temp. So Cartman, he is catching back up. Lennon not as much.
Yeah, that's another thing. Faber has improved a lot over the last season. I can't remember when.
Massively, yeah. Faber's an excellent driver.
Yeah, very respectful, but like since last season he really found the pace. I don't know where he found it, but all of a sudden he was. Before he was more like a mid-pack driver, but now he's all of a sudden with the top guys, and it's really good to see his improvements.
Yeah, I mean Faber's always been really good at Group 3, and we've done a lot of Group 4 championships, just because it kind of suited a lot more people. But Faber's always been really good at Group 3s, but Group 4 he used to struggle. But now he's really put some time in, and yeah, he's fantastic. T Smith has had a really, really bad lap, and he's now under pressure from SPY, and now Faber has a clean shot at Kuska on his own. T Smith is going to lose 2 positions. Oh, SPY has turned across him.
Feisty.
Yeah, SPY just closed the door on Tom when the door wasn't ready to be closed, and ended up nearly paying the price for it. Tom is wiggling, he's going to lose more positions. Pagani's taking a look now on the run down into Surtees. They're going to go side by side. Now Linus up the inside of Pagani in towards Clark Curve. These are the opportunities people need to take in these races, and Linus has done just that. Nicely done. Keep on board with these two. Can Pagani switch back? I think that's what he's going to try and do. Yeah, but Linus is smart enough to it. Pagani's got a good run up the hill towards Druids. He's going to have to go the long way around. But Linus, he holds position. Nice driving, very well done. Yeah, Ross has had a problem. He's in 11th.
Yeah, I reckon it was his dirty tyres.
Yeah, probably.
Once you have dirty tyres on this track, it's very difficult to get. Because most of the time lasts around quarter of lap, half lap, till they get clean again.
Yeah. Well,
but I reckon Paul wants to get some more positions closer to SPY, because he gained a couple in the first race, but as it stands, he's losing them all back.
Pagani just dipped a wheel when that gravel, and he's lost time, but he will make it back up. But yeah, Faber is putting the pressure on Kuska.
Comfortable lead so far, still 1.3, 1.4 seconds.
It's just started. People are just starting to take their formations now in towards the second half of the race. So we are about halfway through your evening of racing. Please, once again, I will ask you all, please don't forget to like the stream for us. Massively appreciated. Keep those comments coming in. But everybody just taking their shape, having a little breather for the last 5 or 6 minutes, where we're going to start to see some battles. Now Faber is the sort of person who will not force a move at all. He will just wait, put Kuska under the pressure when he feels it's right to do so.
But this means that SPY has been able to catch up again.
Yeah,
So
this
we
is going to
have
become
again
a 7-car battle. Yeah. Oh, it's exciting, Rom. It's very, very exciting. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? I'm going to put you on the spot.
As the track is not that difficult to drive, these are the most difficult races to race, because you're just in a pack and you have to be on point every single lap.
Yep.
To be there every single lap. And it's so difficult to have the patience to just stay behind a car sometimes and being stuck behind one, and just not to lose your head.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Who's going to win, Rom?
Well, I think Fever is going to wait for the perfect moment to attack. So he might take this, but yeah. I haven't seen Kaska driving that much, so I don't know what his defending skills are. But if he's good...
I'm going to back Kaska to win this.
Yeah, if we have a second really well. Blue flag, he will win this.
Yeah.
No, but people are settling down a bit more at the back. It's seasoning out. Cartman has been able to recover some positions. Back to 9th and is trying to catch unsafe now. T-Smith takes that first turn very...
Lioness with a big send on T-Smith.
Yeah. Send it.
That was a send. T-Smith will not like that.
Nope.
T-Smith will always race you how you race him, so be prepared for that one. Feber has had a really good run on Kuska. Coming down the Brabham straight, he's going to go towards the outside. Is this his moment? Kuska holds it. He doesn't want to go too deep into turn 1. Feber's going to try and cut it back. Kuska defends that brilliantly. Well done.
He goes on the outside. Bit of scramble between T-Smith and Lioness.
T-Smith around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. Little bit of contact.
Yeah.
Elbows are out. Is Pagani going to follow him through? It looks like he will. And there we go. T-Smith regains that position. Like I said, he will race you how you race him. The elbows came back out. Unsafe release. He's closing up on this pack now. 1.5 seconds is the gap.
A couple of more battles and he's back at the pack again.
Now, news for Pagani, he doesn't want SBY to gain any more positions here. I'm just looking at this because you need to be careful of him. Only a couple of tenths off now. SBY is certainly picking his moment as Peatman comes in with that at the perfect time as well. Watch out for SBY. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think as it stands now, my calculations are right. They have the same amount of points, or SBY has 1 point less in the standings as it stands now.
I'm not sure. I mean, you get 1 point for pole, so Pagani might have had.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then it's 2 points difference.
So Pagani will not want SBY to get any more positions here. I think there's going to be about 5 more laps, maybe 6. But Kuska's still doing what he needs to do. His lap times haven't been incredibly fast, but they've been very consistent. And he's not made any errors yet. He's got 4 minutes to hold on. 5 or 6 more times of what he's done 20 times already.
I think the tricky part is for Feber because they both drive the same car. It's you have the same as the track is already closed for everyone. It's even closer if you drive in the same cars because you have the same abilities of the car.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Lee Cole as well. He's driving really well in P4.
Yeah.
Under pressure from T. Smith, who has got a bit of a run on him here. But in that Subaru, you're going to do very, very well to go on the outside of a Subaru.
Yeah, my personal experience with Lee and Truitz is that he's very good at defending there.
Yeah, Lee's a pain in the arse. He's basically
He's
fun to race against because he is so difficult
yeah,
to get past.
but you can lose your temper behind Lee.
Yeah, easy.
Because he's that good at defending.
SPY putting FIBA under all sorts of pressure. SPY is another one, a monumental pain in the arse to race against, just because he does the right thing most of the time.
Yeah, but with SPY it's the other way around. You don't want to have him behind you.
Yeah.
Because he can trigger you. And I think, I'm not gonna say anything, but I think he does it on purpose, just to put your head away.
Yeah, he's all about the mind games, SPY. 100%. Really good driver, and he's got better and better every single season. But one thing he's really good at is getting in your head if he's behind you, because he will leave his nose in and then he'll pull it out, and then you kind of don't know whether you've got a defender corner or not, and it's he'll force you into those mistakes. Very, very clever about how he goes about it, is SPY. And with that, his pace has become fantastic over the last couple of seasons in particular. T. Smith up the inside of Lee, in towards Druids. Is this his moment? Lee's going to have the inside into Graham Hill Bend. T. Smith dipped a wheel on the grass, drifting round. What a save!
What a save! Oh.
And Lionessi's gone through, so Pagani's up to 5th. There's only 2 places now between Pagani and SPY. T. Smith around the outside of Lionessi at Clark Curve. Down the start finish straight, 2 laps to go. It's all becoming exciting. Kuska still holding on. 2 more laps to go. He needs SPY to make a move on FIBA ASAP. Oh, that might be a penalty for SPY. Cut a little bit too much of Druids there. He could be okay. I think he's alright. What a save from T. Smith that was, by the way, Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, unfortunately, unsafe release and Cartman are catching up, but at the wrong time.
Yeah, T. Smith is back on the inside of Lassie.
Well, I'm going to watch the battle for the lead on the start of the very last lap. FIBA's going to take a look at Kuska. Is he going to cut back? Kuska's run a little deep, but he's nailed it. He's absolutely nailed it. Into Druids for the final time. In towards Graham Hill Bend. FIBA has got a tighter line, but Kuska doing what he's done all race so far. He's got 3 more corners to navigate. He lifts off for Surtees, gets his braking point right from McLaren into Clark Curve. He's just got to get the foot down, and that is going to be a first ever win in FTRL for Kuska. What a fantastic drive under all that pressure from FIBA.
Great driving.
FIBA deserves a lot of credit for the way that he didn't attack or didn't force any moves. SPY finishes in 3rd, a great drive from him. Lee in P4 holds off all those former champions behind him. Pagani in P5, so not too bad result for him. Lionesi in 6th, T. Smith in 7th after one of the best saves I've seen for a long time. Cartman recovered very well to finish in P8. Unsafe release in P9, Bread in P10, Ross 11th, and Ross, unfortunately, brings up the rear for the 2nd time this evening. So final race to come, 20 minutes, full reverse grid. So this is where it's going to get spicy, Ron.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Congratulations to Kuska, what a drive.
Yeah, excellent driving. And a win, especially this soon in joining the league.
Yeah, well,
That's
Kuska
for everyone.
Exactly. I mean, he was in the Toyota last week and had a bit of a rough time in it. And he messaged me beforehand saying that he maybe regretted his decision in changing to the Hyundai, and he's just won his first race. So massive congratulations. I am going to congratulate him in the chat. Let's get our votes in. People are saying T Smith already for this one. There's a strong part of me that agrees with this. T Smith has had a couple of results now. He's not finished on the podium yet tonight, I don't think. Oh no, he did. He did in race 1. Sorry, didn't he come third in race 1, or was he fourth?
Let me check that. He did came in P4.
He's fourth, so he's not even had a podium tonight.
Nope.
So
I don't
Smith
know about
not
T
be
Smith
happy.
for this race. I think I'm gonna go with Ross for this race.
I would love nothing more. Ross tends to do pretty well when he's got the clean air ahead of him. So we'll give him a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, maybe unsafe as well, starting in P4. If you can get a good start. Yeah, it's a good chance.
So let's have a look at how it will line up. So if you guys look from bottom to top, that will be your grid order. So Ross will start on pole with Lennon, who won race 3 last week. So keep an eye out for Lennon. Bread will start P3. Unsafe release in P4. Don't discard him at all. Again, Cartman had a really good drive in race 1. He's a contender in P5. And T Smith in P6 is certainly, again, another one to watch. I mean, anybody on this grid can win a race. It's incredible. Lennon saying that he's lost his head, which is not good. Get your head screwed back on, Lennon, because it's you won this race last week, my friend.
Just drink a Stella and it's all fine, mate.
Yeah, drink a Stella, you'll be fine. I'm just going to go and grab a drink before we start race number 3 and our final race of the evening. And bear with me just a moment, chat, and I will be back in just a moment.
Thank you, Phil, for agreeing with me. Ooh, and that's a bold prediction from you there, Junkie. Ramping up that pace, aren't you, Junkie? Doing deliveries. No, maybe, but to be honest, I'm looking forward to the new game. I'm seeing what they've done with the delivery editor this time. I hope they've added some more features that you can use. Not that it's gonna be of any use for me, but we'll see.
Right.
Maybe put in the chat what you're looking out for the most of the new game, so we can have a little chat about that.
Exactly. Right. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, this is going to be good.
I didn't have any pork pies, Junkie, as they do not sell these in Belgium.
It's because you've got sense.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I was most amazed about the fact of all your snacks you have in the UK. Like, half of them we don't have those in Belgium or even in Europe.
You just have chocolate, mate.
Right. Yeah, chocolate.
Race number 3, Ross is my daddy. he's going to be starting on pole. Jonesy coming in saying that I reckon the person finishing first will win. Thank you, Jonesy. Well observed, my friend. I do agree. Ross leads us and gets off the line. Well, Lennon was a little bit slow off the line, but I think he's going to be okay. Good start from Ross. He just needs to run away. Unsafe release of a great start. He's up into P2, unless Lennon can dive back down the inside. Unsafe release is in P2. T. Smith is in P6. He's managed to hold on under pressure from Pagani and Lionesi. Lennon in P3. Cartman's in P4. He got Brett off the line.
Yeah, and this is getting dangerous for us now, because if he gets unsafe directly behind him, unsafe and SBY are a bit the same, like drivers. They both get into your head, and unsafe can get beside you without even knowing it. So
yeah, true, very true. But I back Ross to just get these lap times done like Kuska did in the last race.
yeah.
If somebody can pressure unsafe release early, then Ross will be in a good position. What he needs is T. Smith to get through. But so far so good. Everybody's nice and clean. Kuska and in P12. Fieber has stayed where he was. SPY's got past Lee, but it's pretty much as you were as we start lap number 3, sorry. Just 18 minutes of racing left. Ross has a 1 second gap. Cartman's got a run.
Brett goes wide.
And Bread's wide into the gravel. Was that by himself, was it, or did he get a nudge?
Yep.
Yeah. Unlucky for Bread, but still, he's with the pack. It's not too bad. Doesn't want to lose his head or rage quit. Ross 1.3 seconds clear. Unsafe release with a bit of a gap now, but he's now got Cartman behind him. So if there's one person he doesn't want behind him with their pace that they've shown this evening, Cartman is definitely one of those drivers. So but Lennon, he's had a good run on Cartman here. I don't think he will trouble him into turn 1 possibly.
SBY is maybe looking for a move on Lionesi as well. Puts his nose on the inside, but thinks better of it.
SPY's had a good start to this race. T. Smith trying all the old tricks, trying to show his nose to Lennon. Is he going to take him down the inside into Graham Hill Bend? Oh, it's close. T. Smith is looking racy. T. Smith is looking racy indeed. One of these races where the action will just gradually unfold and it will be pretty exciting towards the end of the race here, I think.
That's the thing that makes this more interesting as a couple of seasons go as well. Like, it got way more tactical than it did before.
Yeah.
Now we see more and more people like just forming trains and trying to get the best lap times behind each other to create a gap and to get comfortable, and then race it at the end of the race, battling it out between each other. It's like you said, there's gonna be some battles unfolding towards the end of the race.
Absolutely. Ross with a 45.8. Very good lap from Ross. It's almost pole position lap pace, that was.
SBY on the inside of Lionesi.
Yeah, a little bit of a nudge. And Cartman is now on unsafe release. So this is probably music to Ross's ears. If Cartman can put unsafe under pressure, Ross can hopefully, in his case, run away.
Well, if they smart, they're just gonna work together.
Well, Cartman's now having a look at unsafe. That's what we want to see, Rob. We want to see some racing.
Yeah, exactly. But
for their case, yeah, it may be different, but for us, we want to see some racing. God, I love this league. T. Smith having a look at Lennon into Druids.
Cartman on unsafe as well.
T. Smith is marginally ahead, and now Lennon's back ahead. T. Smith trying to do all he can to get past Lennon. Lennon is proving to be a problem.
Bird in the back. Oh, what happened to Nessie? He dropped to the back.
Yeah, Pagani and SPY are waiting for that opportunity. I think Pagani won't mind too much where he finishes in this race as long as it's ahead of SPY. Because I don't think the guys ahead of him are going to be too much of a problem championship wise. Cartman up the inside of unsafe release into Druids, bit of a bump, bit of a slide from Cartman. I think he slid off the curve ever so slightly, but nothing too bad. A bit of a racing bump, so to speak.
T. Smith got in front of Lennon as well.
He
so
did.
He's looking to catch up.
He did indeed. Now Pagani up the inside of Lennon. He's trying to make quick work of him as well. Job done. And SPY is also going to follow him through. So Lennon has lost 3 positions within a couple of corners. So not good news for Lennon. Pagani would have hoped that Lennon could have stayed ahead of SPY. Lennon just doesn't want to get too desperate now. Oh, T. Smith's off. He's clipped the gravel. And he's into the wall.
Mistakes we've seen him making.
Well, there we go. I said it earlier on, we don't see him make too many mistakes, and T. Smith is again showing why he's a fraud.
His cheats are not working today.
Yeah, exactly. The codes he's put into his PlayStation. His girlfriend obviously wasn't there to race for him tonight, and he's having to do it all himself. No, unfortunate for T. Smith. Not what we want to see, but let's see what he's made of, because he's now 6.5 seconds behind the next car.
Oh, and it's getting feisty between Fever and Lee as well. Fever's looking to make a move.
Well, I imagine it's probably one of the most polite battles I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Fever and Lee, 2 of the nicest people in the world. But Ross is 2.5 seconds clear. Cartman and Unsafe fighting, and Cartman has got past Unsafe as we saw. And Cartman has pulled a bit of a gap, so he is the biggest threat to Ross. I said this earlier on, and I stick by my word, but Ross has almost done half the race, and he's got a 2.5 second lead, so he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. Pagani is in 4th, SPY is 5th. Pagani does have a small gap to SPY, who's run wide, and he's just saved that out of the gravel. That was really close. Lee and Lennon having a good old scrap, as they do most seasons. Feber, Cusker and Bread. So Bread's driven well tonight, to be fair. He's certainly not been swallowed up or anything. There's a couple of little mistakes in there, but to be expected. It's a new car for him, so just needs to keep going. But this will give him confidence, because he's seen that he can stay with all those guys. As Lee and Lennon are going side by side down the Brabham Straight to start lap number 12. Lennon will have the outside line. Lee shoves him a little bit wide and goes through.
Waits a bit long to turn in.
Yeah.
Fever takes advantage of that, and maybe Cusker as well.
The trouble is that wouldn't have been something that Lee's done on purpose there. It's just so hard.
No.
One braking point at turn 1, it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
And, T. Smith, how far is he? He's lost time to Line SE, funnily enough. So I know he has been having problems with his wheel. He had it all apart last week, so that could be a factor. I know he honestly has had problems with it. So let's hope it's nothing to do with that and it was just a mistake. But by the way he's losing time, it doesn't look great.
Paul has managed to catch up a bit.
Yeah, he's just done the fastest lap of the race as Pagani, 45.8. And Ross is your daddy. There's a nice little gap.
has to be careful because he's right on the edge of the slipstream. He made a couple of hundreds now and clearance too.
Well, SPY, this is one of the reasons he is so entertaining, SPY, because he will have the car on the edge every single lap. Like, he doesn't know how to take it steady. He will just give it absolutely everything, and you
exactly.
could admire it. However, we have seen him make a few mistakes over the course of his time in FTRL, and let's hope he doesn't do that again because he's showing really good pace.
Ball on the inside of Unsafe and gets the move done.
That job done. Now this is a big moment for Pagani because Unsafe is between him and SBY. Can Pagani catch Cartman before Unsafe loses out to SBY? Lots of questions and only 9 minutes to find out the answers.
Unsafe just keeps it out of the gravel.
Who was that in the background? That was that Lennon?
Cusker or Lennon, yeah.
One of them was really close to being off the circuit. T. Smith has not really found any time. I can't help but feel he's struggling.
Yeah, for the rest of grids, everybody seems to be settling down a bit, preparing themselves for the last 5 minutes of the race, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, Kusker has pulled away, but he's not really closed the gap up on Ross. It just goes to show you, Ross has had a couple of poor races tonight in terms of, mistakes or whatnot. And when you've got that little bit of clean air, you can just get into a rhythm and disappear. Pagani did it, I did it last night. We saw Lennon do it last week. It just shows you how competitive this grid is, because the second you're around each other...
SBY is going, and SBY is going on the inside of Unsafe.
Yeah, this is going to be moved done. This will be moved done, I'm sure of it.
That's the inside for the next two corners. So...
Well, Unsafe's held that beautifully around turn one, but... Oh, he's deep into the corner. SPY sent that into that corner.
Yeah, was trying to make a switch back, but...
Well, Pagani has a second to make up on on Cartman, sorry.
And with SBY and Unsafe battling, Pagani has managed to break out the slipstream, so... As again in the first race, that is very dangerous for Cartman and SBY to lose Pagani out of sight.
Very true. I mean, you've got to say at this point of the season, Pagani and SBY look like the two championship rivals, especially with how T. Smith has lost out on a lot of points, and he's 12 seconds behind now. So he must be struggling somewhere, and I honestly wouldn't surprise me if he's having issues again with his wheel. He had his wheel apart last week, his pedals apart, he had absolutely everything. So
inside of Kusk, shoves him a bit wide, but seemed fine. And Nessie wants to take advantage of this as well, but almost stabs the back of Kuska.
yeah, lap number 19, so there's about 7 or 8 laps left. Not long to go. There's a big group of cars here. Let's go and check in. Ross is 2.5 seconds. He's lost about 4 tenths to Cartman, who in turn has lost time to Pagani, and Pagani's gained a little bit of time on SBY. So, but yeah, now, as I was saying, it looks to me like Pagani and SBY at this point are going to be the two championship rivals. So every single one of these little individual points here do really count, because it is just 1 point per position in our races. If you win the race, you get 14 points. If you come second, you get 13, and so on.
Exactly.
So there's never going to be many gaps, and these guys won't miss races. Pagani and SBY will not miss races.
Oh, I went a bit, missed this braking point by a bit.
Who did, sorry?
SBY almost went unsafe through by missing his braking point, but managed to save it.
Yeah, Pagani is now 6/10 behind Cartman Twins. Cartman's sliding everywhere.
Bit more spread than last two races. This
Yeah,
one.
I'm surprised. I really am surprised. Just going through the field trying to save the closest battle. So we'll stay in the battle for P8 because that's the the 4-car train that we've got. Lennon nearly dipping the wheel with Kuska going down the inside. A little bit of a touch as he slides through. Lioness going to try now, but Lennon, as we've seen, will have the inside line.
Unsafe lost it at Druids.
Oh. Lioness just had a massive slide coming out of turn 3, Graham Hill Bend.
Unsafe lost it at Druids. Now SBY has managed to go away from him, but now Lee is looking to make a move on Unsafe.
It looks like he's got that job done. Been a good night for Lee so far.
Yeah.
Cool, we've got a former FTRL champion, Mr. Sweeney, is in the chat. Good evening, Sweeney. Hope you are well, my friend. Long time no speak. Everything is very, very good here, my friend. Just watching the final race of the evening. We've got about 4 laps left.
And the gap between Ross and Cartman is closing down ever so slowly, but
yeah, I think Ross is probably just trying to take it a bit more steady, because you've seen it's very, very unlikely these guys will, when or if they do manage to catch up, that they'll be able to pass him in 1 lap. Well, that's a good first sector from Cartman, 17.7. Pagani keeping him honest as well, only half a second behind.
SBY is staying around the same gap so far.
Absolutely, just looking at it now, Lee's under a little bit of pressure from FIBA. Unsafe has dropped back to P7, so Unsafe is just, I mean, he didn't race for a long time, so he's just getting back into the swing of it all. Still a good battle for 9th, 10th and 11th. ACC as well, Serena, yeah. Good times, mate. I'm glad you're well. Thank you for checking in, mate. Not the most entertaining race, to be honest with you, and T. Smith 20 seconds behind.
He's almost getting doubled by Ross.
Yeah.
1 corner of difference. Enjoy it, people, because this is a view you're not gonna see.
Yeah, very true. 2.1 seconds is the gap. 2 laps remaining. And Pagani's right on Cartman now. Cartman's had a massive wiggle in towards.
Nice save though.
Yeah, he's saved it well, but Pagani's right on him. Pagani's going to try and cut back on the exit of Druids. Cartman's going to hold the line well. Will he have any dirt on those tyres? Will he slide at all? It looks like he's okay, but Pagani is a man on a mission. And if he, like I said to you, this extra point would be massive for Pagani. But Cartman has shown already tonight that he's a fantastic racer. Let's see how he deals with the pressure of FTRL Pagani as Ross crosses the line for the penultimate time. We begin lap 26. We're going to stay on board of this battle for P2 between Cartman and Pagani. Pagani's had a better run down Paddock Hill, but Cartman's going to hold on into Druids. Has Pagani got anything he can throw at him here?
I think McLaren is his last shot. If he doesn't do it there, it's Cartman that takes P2.
Yeah, Pagani going
Tries
to
to
take a
put it
look.
on the inside.
Yeah, Cartman's going to hold it, but after an absolutely fantastic drive, Ross is your winner, and Ross is your daddy. Takes his first win of the season. Fantastic drive from him. Bossed it from start to finish. Just shows you the power of the full reverse grid. And that little bit of clean air. Cartman takes P2, Pagani takes P3, SBY 4, Lee Cole 5th, Faber 6th, Unsafe 7th, only just beating Cusker in P8, Lennon in P9, Linesi 10th, Bread in 11th, and T
Smith trying to draft.
T shit finishes in 12th.
Tried to drift. It started well though, but lost it at the mid of the corner.
Yeah, he's going to bring it home. Good drive from T Smith in the end. Brings home P12, 43 seconds off of Ross. He did say before the season started that Ross was the team leader, and he's certainly proving that. I think Ross is that Woody from Toy Story, I think, isn't it?
Amazing helmet.
It's an absolute twat, yeah. But
Catches you off course every
he
time.
does. He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. So 2 P12s and a P1 for Ross. So there we go. But Rom, thank you very, very much for joining me this evening, mate. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, with pleasure. Call me anytime again if you want.
I will do. For sexual favours and for commentary.
For everything, mate. For everything.
Oh, always, always, always. Right, well, and thank you all very much for watching. For those that do watch the race back, please do remember to like the stream for us. It does go a long way. And I hope you enjoy watching it back. I hope you enjoyed this evening's races. And we will see you again next week. So please do come and tune in. Obviously, we've got Formula 1 on Tuesday and Wednesday. But for Gran Turismo Sport, we're back for GT2 next Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, where we're visiting Sardegna, the B circuit. So it's quite a popular one. Everybody seems to love it. It's going to be a bit of a mix-up to what we've done this evening. Some long straights. The four-wheel drive cars won't be as well suited. So come and see us race next week. And then we will see you on Friday. I will be doing commentary next Friday. Hopefully with Ron, we'll see. And we'll bring you the action there and then. But until next time, have a lovely weekend. Stay safe. And we will see you soon.